What's up, YouTubers? This is your boy Big Metroid Fan 12 coming to you with another video game review. And this time I'm reviewing the game G.I. Joe: A Real American Hero, which was released on the NES by Taxan and KID. And this game is pretty much based off of the G.I. Joe franchise, which consists of the toy line, the cartoon series, the comic book series, and even like the first movie, which was animated, like of course, years before the two live action G.I. Joe movies, you know. Now, the plot of the game is that members of G.I. Joe are trying to stop Cobra from taking over the world, you know what I'm saying? Uh, this is pretty much the general plot of the series, you know what I'm saying? And in the game, you play as the following members of G.I. Joe, you know, Duke, Blizzard, Snake Eyes, Captain Gridiron, Rock and Roll, and General Hawk, you know. Now, it is worth noting that General Hawk is playable when you reach the last level, you know what I'm saying? Now, the game as a whole has pretty much six levels in it, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty much the Amazon level, Antarctica, New York City, Black Hill, the Sahara Desert, and Cobra's headquarters, you know what I'm saying? Now, in each stage, there's one of the members that's playable will be leading the mission, regardless if it's like the Sahara or the Amazon. The first one that leads the mission is going to be there regardless. You're up. So you pretty much have to pick the other two members of GI Joe to be in one of the missions. You know, so if like one of them dies, you have to start back over again with the other two. With one of the GI Joe members that you picked. If he dies, you have to go with the last one. If all three of them dies, you get a game over and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, Duke leads the Amazon mission, while Blizzard leads the Antarctica mission. Snake Eyes leads the New York City mission. Uh, Rock Captain Gridiron leads Black Hill. Rock and Roll leads the Sahara Desert mission, and General Hawk pretty much leads the final mission at the Cobra headquarters and stuff. You know. Plus, you can get like different power ups, gun power ups, and stuff like that. And it's really based on the individual weapons each GI Joe has. You know what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to the stages, you can pick the two GI Joes members. You know what I'm saying? Based on their strengths and the level design. Like, you can pick Snake Eyes in the upper five levels that he don't need because he can jump really high, and Duke because he's like because he's really balanced, you know what I'm saying, and jumps and with his weapon and stuff like that. So you have to pick the other two members accordingly. You know what I'm saying. Now the bosses in GI Joe: Real American Hero are uh, Range Viper, Metalhead, Overlord, Voltar, Destro, and Cobra Commander. You know what I'm saying? And that outside of those six members of Cobra and the six members of GI Joe, there is pretty much no other characters of GI Joe that's even in this game. You know what I'm saying? Now, in the game, you can press select to either use the weapon that's assigned to the GI Joe member that you're using, or pick select to have them do hand-to-hand combat. You know what I'm saying? But I would say recommend that you stick to the weapon when you're facing a boss. But the hand-to-hand combat is pretty effective. You know what I'm saying? Against the enemies that you face throughout the course of each stage. You know what I'm saying? Plus, as far as the items are concerned, you can get a gun, uh, regular recovery item, flashing recovery item, bullets, flashing bullets, life up, and the invincibility vest, which is practically a bulletproof vest, you know. And you can use like three different military weapons, well, not weapons, but more so vehicles that's assigned to that's pretty much Cobra vehicles. They're the Cobra Buzzbore, the Cobra Mesh, and the Cobra Helicopter. So and all three vehicles do have unlimited ammo, so you don't have to worry about just being in a bind because you don't have any uh, uh, no more bullets. You know what I'm saying? Now the graphics and level design of GI Joe, a real American Hero, are pretty good, and it has very good color palettes, even though it's not as bright as say Super Mario 2. But for most people who played it, it's not gonna. It really don't make that big of a difference in terms of how bright the color palettes are. Now the gameplay and the controls are very good also, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have, and pretty much because of the fact that you can pick between using your weapon and doing hand-to-hand combat, and this is something that hasn't happened with most shooting games on the NES that I'm aware of. I guess the closest thing it's RoboCop, but you can't select when you use hand-to-hand combat or using your weapons and stuff. Now the soundtrack is pretty good too, and it pretty much matches up the tone of the game, in my opinion. Now GI Joe is a very good game, and Taxan pretty much proves that you can pretty much make a very good GI Joe game. You know what I'm saying? But G.I. Joe, a real American Hero on the NES, this ended up being an underrated game, mainly because of the timing of which this game was released. And I definitely recommend G.I. Joe, a real American Hero to folks, especially to people who are retro gamers and fans of the G.I. Joe franchise, you know what I'm saying? As far as the score is concerned, I'll definitely give it a 9 out of 10. Excellent game, excellent everything about it. You know, with that being said, if you actually played this game and you like it, you can mention me in the comments section of the video. If you happen to have any gripes about the game from a general standpoint, you can also mention that. With that being said, if you like this video, don't hesitate to click the thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe. This is your boy Big Metro Fan 12 signing off.